Previously on My Girlfriend Wants to Kill Me. I won't have to hide you too much longer. Soon, you, me, and Diamond will have a beautiful life together. And what about that Detective Jackson guy? He will be out of the picture as soon as I'm done with him. Trust me. Pay attention to the road, Misty, while I take care of these two, said Chandler as he reached out of his window, firing shots at the two assassins. Then a bullet from Jake's gun entered the left shoulder of Chandler, causing him to drop his gun on the ground as Misty pulled him back inside of the car. Donovan slammed his foot on the gas as he pulled up at the side of them, firing shots through Misty's window. Then, all of a sudden, the criminal's car side-swapped the Misty mobile, sending them into a ditch, causing it to slam into a tree. I have some bad news, Mr. Baker. We have some bad news, said another voice as Crazy Mary's face appeared behind him. No, this cannot be. Misty is not dead, I yelled. Didn't he ever tell you to never make a deal with the devil? You should have listened to him. Then, gunshots were fired from Mary's gun as Donovan and Jake fell to the ground, dead from matching gunshot wounds to their heads. What the hell? Said Detective Jackson. You two are next. My girlfriend wants to kill me. Season 2, Episode 5. The sun slowly rose over the hills of Seattle, Washington, with its rays beaming upon my face. A face that looked worried due to me not knowing what to expect on this day of my bail hearing. Could it be that my days in the cell were behind me, at least for now? Is it possible that I could at least be a free man during a trial that would end in a verdict that would set me free or end my life by lethal injection? These questions were saturating my mind, as well as worrying if Misty and Chandler were really dead. I was still holding on to that glimpse of hope that she might still be alive. Perhaps the photo was some sort of Photoshop trick created by Crazy Mary and Detective Jackson. But if it is real, that would mean that I would never get the chance to tell Misty that I love her. But there was no time to be worrying about that. Today was the day the decision will be made whether I be released on bail or be confined to my cell for the remainder of this hell. A decision that was up to one man, Judge Duncan, and just my luck, he was known for being the most heartless and coldest judge in the country. Try to relax, David, said Winthorpe as his eyes gave a shimmer of faith, but also a sliver of doubt. And there he was, sitting there at his bench, shifting through a stack of papers. He then cleared his throat, fixed his spectacles, narrowed his eyes, and began his speech as my heart thumped in my chest, so to speak. I have seen the evidence that has been presented by prosecution, and I must say it is a lot of incriminating evidence against you, Mr. Baker. I have seen the bloody photos as well, which are the most grisly murders that I've seen in my many years of murder trials. Whoever committed these crimes are one of the most darkest and most twisted people to commit such a violent act since Manson. Now then, since that's out of the way, I would like for you, Mr. Baker, to tell me why I should let you out on bail and how I should know that you, sir, are not a flight risk, he said, as our eyes locked onto one another's. Because I did not commit those murders. Crazy Mary is responsible, and I have good reason to believe Detective Jackson is in on it too. Then Winthrop intervened. What he's trying to say, Your Honor, is, silence, counselor. I want to hear from Mr. Baker. When I'm ready for you to speak, I will let you know. Until then, zip it. Continue on, Mr. Baker, said the judge. What I'm trying to say is, I'm being framed by Dr. Mary Slaughter. She is the one who committed those crimes, and Detective Jackson helped her plant false evidence against me. And your proof? I have proof, but I'm still waiting for it to arrive. Do you have an alibi? He said. Yes, and she is the one who has the evidence, I said. And where is this person, this alibi? That I don't know. She's dead, Your Honor, said the voice of the prosecutor, echoing throughout the room. She is not dead, I said angrily. Your Honor, the defendant is delusional and in denial that his girlfriend, Misty Blue, was killed. There are photos that proves that she is dead. Very bloody photos. Her and her friend, Chandler Sharp, were killed during some sort of robbery. That is a lie. Crazy Mary and Detective Jackson has done something to her and Chandler. Those photos are fakes. If she really were dead, I would know it. I know she is still alive, I yelled, but was immediately silenced by order in this court. May I remind you all that this is not the actual trial, but a hearing. How do you plead, Mr. Baker? Asked the judge. Not guilty. Oh, please. I've never heard of a murderer being innocent, said the prosecutor in a very sassy tone. Your Honor, Miss Robinson is out of line. Excuse me? That's right, said Winthrop. Mr. Baker, it's not too late to change your plea to guilty, she went on to say. Just admit that you decapitated your own girlfriend, killed Diana the cashier you were having an affair with, killed an innocent dog, murdered Detective Newman, and even viciously murdered your own Uncle James. Who else have you murdered? What kind of sick human being are you? Your fingerprints are all over those weapons, and even the cashier's cell phone. Then you even had the nerve to. I object, Your Honor. Speculation, yelled Winthorpe. Sustained, said the judge. As I said, this is not the actual trial. I want order in my courtroom. Your Honor, said Winthorpe, I ask that you release Mr. Baker on bail because not only has he no prior arrest record and is not a flight risk, but there's no actual evidence that he has killed any of those people. Miss Robinson is playing judge and jury here and has obviously been watching too many episodes of Law and Order. Excuse me, but his fingerprints are all over the weapons and he has no alibi, said Miss Robinson. If that's not evidence, I don't know what is. Also, Your Honor, he is a flight risk. Mr. Baker is a wealthy man, and he secretly has his own private jet. If you let this criminal out on bail, there will be no trial because he will be out of the country and never seen again. Your Honor, said Winthorpe, yes, Miss Robinson is correct that he does have his own private jet, but Mr. Baker has never used it. It was given to him as a gift from no other than Mary Slaughter herself back when they dated. That's right, and as a matter of fact, I have it up for sale right now. I want nothing that has to do with that demon of a woman, I said. Let me ask you this, counselor, said the judge. Do you have any evidence against Miss Slaughter or Detective Jackson proving their play in all of this? Well, no, but and whose fingerprints were on those weapons? Mr. Baker's, but look, I am not here to pass down any judgment today, and the verdict will be up to the jury at the end of the trial. But there is no possible way I am releasing Mr. Baker on bail, not with this much evidence pointing the crimes to him. No, he has no prior arrest record, but that still does not mean he is not a flight risk, especially since he has his own private jet. And it does not mean he is not a threat to himself or others. Your Honor, said Winthorpe, I understand the flight risk due to him having his own private jet, but why not confiscate it till the end of the trial? Yes, I can do that, and you do have a valid point, but as I said, there is too much evidence for me to allow bail. The good news is I will expedite this trial and it will begin immediately. Bail is denied and the defendant will remain detained. Court is adjourned. Meanwhile, back in my cell, Winthorpe's shimmer of hope had now turned into a darkness of doubt. He didn't admit it, but I could see it in his eyes. Now what? I asked. What we do now is build a strong defense. We need as much evidence that proves that Mary is a murderous psychopath. I am going to do some investigating myself. Let me ask you, do you know if there is anything documented on her mental health, like any medicines that she might have been on for mental issues? No, but then again, she is a doctor, and it's easy for her to get access to medication. Do you know anyone else who might know that Mary is a psychopath? No, not that I know of. Okay, I need you to listen to me, David. If Jackson or Crazy Mary comes in here after I'm gone, remain silent. I will be in touch, and I will let you know when the trial is to begin. Call me if you think of anything or anyone who might be able to help us, said Winthorpe as he turned his back to leave the room. Wait, I said. It just dawned on me. There is someone who knows Mary is crazy. Her friend and former roommate, Amanda. She had came to me telling me how Mary was cutting herself and carving my name into her skin. She told me that Mary has done things, and she was afraid not only for Mary, but of her. Oh, this is good. This is damn good. Where can I find this Amanda? She lives back in Indiana, me and Mary's hometown. Amanda knows all about Mary. As a matter of fact, back in high school, when me and Mary were high school sweethearts, a girl named Heather, who had a crush on me, was fatally stabbed to death. She was found with her heart carved out of her chest. And when I think about it, it mimics the same thing that Mary did to me when she sent me Samantha's dismembered body parts. The killer was never found, but now that I see how messed up Mary is, I know it was her. And I bet Amanda knows something about it, but I have to warn you, she is very loyal to Mary, not to mention afraid of her as well. See you in a few days, said Winthorpe as we both smiled at each other. Then he left the room. The shimmer of hope had been restored. Meanwhile, back at the abandoned warehouse, Mary and Detective Jackson closed the trunk of Jackson's car, where two dead bodies belonging to Donathan and Jake lie inside, beginning to rot. Mary, we need to get rid of these bodies before the smell gets too strong, said Jackson, as Mary just smiled peacefully. I don't mind the smell. It's quite refreshing. Jackson narrowed his eyes and was beginning to feel nauseous. The smell of death is a reminder that I am still alive. Let me ask you a question. Why did you kill Donathan and Jake? They were loyal to you, said Jackson. Those stupid, retarded idiots. They were getting too sloppy and careless. Sooner or later, they would have screwed something up where they would have not covered their tracks, which in the end would have led back to me, and I could not have that. So instead, I ended their miserable, pathetic lives. And how do I know you won't do the same thing to me? Said Jackson. That's just it. You don't know. But isn't there something arousing about living life dangerously, not knowing when the breath that you take might be your last? Now come on, let's get back inside and finish these two. What about the bodies? It's hot out here, which will cause them to decompose faster, said Jackson. Why make 2 trips? After we kill Misty and Chandler, we can just bury them all at once, said Mary as they returned back inside. Wait, where is the laptop with the evidence? Said Jackson as both of their eyes shifted in the direction of the prisoners. Yes, where is the laptop? Asked Mary, slowly moving toward them. I guess you will never find out since you're the idiot who killed your own guys who had the laptop, said Chandler. Jackson, go check the car, said Mary as he obeyed his dark and twisted commander-in-chief. How does it feel to know you're going to die within minutes? Asked Mary, her face only inches away from Misty's. Well, how does it feel to know you are going to be in prison for the rest of your miserable, pathetic, and useless life when the truth comes out that you are a lying, manipulating, psychopathic, sadistic, dark, and twisted ass, said Misty with strength in her voice as their grinding of teeth and narrowing of eyes intensified by the second, which was quickly interrupted by Jackson's return. It's gone, said Jackson as Mary's look was so intense that it almost melted the face off of Misty. I'm going to ask you again before I pull this trigger and blow your freaking brains out all over your bleeding friend's face. The metal against Misty's skin was chilling. Where the fuck is the damn laptop? Answer me, you bitch. Mary tried to break Misty, but Misty was unbreakable. I told you, we don't know. What are you, stupid or deaf? You bitch. Being a brain surgeon, I am used to seeing brains on the inside of the head. Now I'm ready to see what they look like on the outside. Die, yelled Mary as her finger slowly squeezed the trigger. But then Detective Jackson received a text message. Oh shit, we have to go, said Jackson as the look of panic shadowed his face. What is it? Asked Mary. Let's just say if we don't leave right now and stop Winthorpe on a special little trip he is about to take back to your hometown, Indiana, we will be the ones in that cell instead of David Baker. Indiana? A trip? How do you know? Said Mary suspiciously. I'll tell you more about it in the car, said Detective Jackson. Not before I kill her. If you kill them now, we will never know what happened to the laptop. I can almost guarantee they know where it is. You can't just leave us here like this, said Misty. Chandler will probably be dead before you get back. Can't you see he's losing blood? Oh, cry me a river. You're both going to die anyway. I'll be back, said Mary, as Misty and Chandler watched them fade into the darkness of the night. Mary looked worried. How do you know about Winthorpe's trip, and why is he going back to Indiana? Asked Mary. You're not the only one who's clever. I have Baker's cell bugged, as well as every room he goes into. I have a friend of mine listening in to their conversations. He is the one who texted me. Winthorpe is on his way to interrogate your friend Amanda, said Jackson. What? Well, I guess I will pay my old friend Amanda a visit. We need to get to the airport right away.